Bickley and Marotta Mornings. Arizona Sports. The local sports leader. Bickley Blast.
In sports, there are victories that feel like turning points, and there are victories that feel like impact statements. The Diamondbacks have had one of each in the past 2 days, and it gets better. Win today, and the most astonishing thing will occur. Our injury-plagued, hanging by their fingernails baseball team will enter the month of August as the hottest team in the sport. Even stranger, the trade deadline came and went without Geno Suarez getting moved, waived, or replaced. To the contrary, he is also one of the hottest players in the game, and who would have thought that a month ago? Now, some of these numbers do not feel as impressive as they look. 36 hits in their previous 73 at-bats, 8-0-1 in their last 9 series, an 18-8 record since June 29th, which includes 4 blown saves from Paul Sewald. And there is a fear that last night's demolition of the Nationals, a 17-zip victory that was the most lopsided shutout in team history, was mostly a gift from Patrick Corbin, the worst starting pitcher in baseball. But the end result is exactly the same. The Diamondbacks are surging, not wheezing into the month of August, and not many around here saw that coming. All right, today's Bickley Blast brought to you by my great friends at Chapman BMW, who make luxury attainable. Find them online at chapmanbmw.com.
You got 22 hits, a number of base runners, some really good run-scoring opportunities. We just kept getting after it. We didn't shut down, and that's what I'm proud of. I'm proud of 2 walks as a pitching staff. I'm proud of no errors as a defensive team. That means everybody was engaged for 8.5 full innings. And even though the score was extremely lopsided, the entire team was engaged and focused, and that's what stands out. I mean, I could go over highlights all day. You know, Cattell with 3 hits, and you know, Perdomo, Newman. I don't even know. Everybody had multiple hits. It was just a magical day. McCarthy, yeah, it was a magical day. Real good approaches, and we're gonna enjoy it.
Yeah, it's one of those days, and look, in this stretch for the Diamondbacks, the days where it's a stress-free outing, those have been few and far between. So I think there's something to be said for that. Now, this was incredibly stress-free. When you score 7 runs on 9 hits in 1 inning and just continue to tack on. I mean, they had multiple runs in 5 innings last night. There's only 2 at-bats where they did not score runs against the Nationals.
Yeah, it was sick.
But you do have to temper it with what you said is a gift from Patrick Corbin. I just looked up his numbers. I got his first year in Washington was when the Nationals. He signed that huge contract, $140 million. They win the World Series.
Pitched Game 7.
Pitched Game 7 since 2020. So 2020 through, he takes the ball every 5th day. He's been healthy. They keep marching him out there, and he just keeps absorbing these poundings on the mound. He is 29-68.
Yeah,
that's a .299 winning percentage with a 5.67 ERA. In 127 starts.
Well, but he's also had some good starts this year, which is why they still run him out there. But they're very rare, and he has never been good. He's never beaten the Diamondbacks since leaving. He's the one guy that he's one of the pitchers that the Diamondbacks said, nope, can't afford him, that there were 0 regrets.
He's given up the most hits in 3 of the last 5 years. Like, it's just been an ugly go.
Yeah.
And I know he's got the big contract, but from a competitive standpoint, it was to know what he did for the Diamondbacks while he was here, and to see him go through that was a little rough. But like from the Diamondbacks' perspective, again, you got to take those days and run with them, and they have to finally get over this sweep hump.
You can't lose 2-1 today.
No,
like that's the weird trend. They don't follow up these offensive explosions with anything usually.
No, but you know they're going to see a left-handed pitcher for the 3rd straight day as a starter from Washington. As I said earlier, with Christian Walker on the shelf and Josh Bell in to try to help out in that interim, you got to stack up as many wins against struggling teams as you can because you go to Pittsburgh, then Cleveland, you got Philadelphia coming in. That's a really tough stretch of baseball. So when the Washington Nationals are standing in your way, you got to knock them out of the way and notch these wins.
I agree.
6 games above 500
Right,
now.
exactly. This is not a day, Torrey, to sit Geno Suarez. Just give you a heads up. Not a day to rest him, right?
I wonder what they do with Corbin Carroll. because he sat the first game, right, versus the lefties and pinch hit.
Yes.
He was hitting 7th yesterday against the lefty. So I wonder what they do today in a day game.
That's always the thing, too. Day game after a night game.
Yeah.
And again, it was a stress-free night game last night.
So you're probably not getting Gabby Moreno today?
Well, he left the game early, and there was some concern on whether or not he was injured. And Torrey said after the game he should be okay. But again, that's been the pattern, especially for Moreno. When he's been out there, is that day game he'll get off, and that's par for the course for Major League Baseball. On Corbin Carroll, there's been an uptick in the power. We've seen him, the home run swing return, obviously in very dramatic fashion on Monday, but he talked about that with Wolf and Luke yesterday here on Arizona Sports, that the power returning, which had been absent basically all year.
Yeah, I mean, that's nice. Definitely feel good about kind of that piece being there this last month. And again, just kind of searching for some more consistency and, just big credit to the hitting coaches and kind of the work that we're putting in. Those guys are working just as hard as me. So it's been good.
He sounds ecstatic about the return of the power.
It's been good. It's been good, he said.
But look, they need Corbin Carroll to be closer to Corbin Carroll than what he's been, especially now. This is
Yes.
A lot of teams helped themselves in this National League race. There was a lot of trades made. A lot of the teams you're competing directly with, the Padres, and the Padres gave up a ton in terms of prospects, but they bolstered their roster for right now. I like what you said. I like the phrase that you used. The Padres are going to be a problem, and they're playing with a lot of confidence right now. They're going to need Corbin Carroll to step up and continue to.
I think Corbin Carroll, if I were like his coach, here's what I would tell him. I would tell him not only look at Gino Suarez as proof that you can get nuclear hot, scorching hot, but I would say to him, put aside this idea that your year is not going to look good on paper. Even if you get hot these last couple of months, you're not going to feel like this was a great season for you individually. But if you come through with a great closing 2 months, the amount of respect you are going to win from your teammates for having the mental stamina and the tenacity to get through the worst sophomore slump any of us have ever seen and find a way to be a key contributor late. Your teammates will admire that maybe even more than a wire-to-wire great season, because it will show that you stayed committed throughout personal failure for the good of the team.
Yeah.
And that can be out there for you. I remember this as a tiny kid. You probably saw this during the Pete Rose documentary. Johnny Bench had a terrible year in 1976 for the Reds. Had 2 home runs in a World Series game, and everyone mobbed him like, you showed up when we needed you the most. That's what Corbin Carroll can do.
Yeah, people, instead of looking at the totality of the stats for this year, if this works out well and Corbin Carroll contributes to it, you'll be looking at those splits. What'd you do in July? He's had a good July. Although, the OPS is good. The pop is there. The batting average is still low. I heard Luke Lipinski talking about this yesterday. But you'll look at what he did in August, September, and then if they get to the postseason, what you did there. You're exactly right. It could be all washed away. And this sophomore slump doesn't have to be something that is stapled to the resume of Corbin Carroll for the rest of his career.
Thanks for watching Bickley and Murata. Click to see the latest Bickley Blast and hit the button in the middle to subscribe to Arizona Sports.